Hi, and welcome to Esther's Breeze, where we sit back, chat, and shoot the breeze. Thank you all so much for being here. I appreciate all the love and support that you give. A special thank you to Jenny DeHame from PAX Management, to Robert DeLestio, my good friend and mentor, and to Fernando Renzo, the techie behind the scenes and my partner in crime. I am so excited for tonight's guest. Her name is Melina Giubilaro, and she has spent the last 10 years working as a journalist and video reporter. That's probably how most of you know her. But she's also a blogger at Where to Next Melina and a podcaster at Don't Forget Your Lipstick. I didn't. And she is a confidence video coach. And all that, and she's only 29 years old. Now, what is a video confidence coach and what's her podcast all about? Well, we have two small clips to show you.
Everyone's become a master chef, a master baker on social media, right? Everyone's trying to make a couple of extra dollars online. But the problem here is all you're doing is showing me those cookies. You're just showing me pictures of cookies, and it's no longer interesting on social media because no one cares about your cookies. No one cares. But I challenge you, if you were to do a video, do a live, and explain to me why you make these cookies, aha, now you've piqued my curiosity. Here's what you need to do to feel more confident on camera. Step one, you're gonna wanna speak really, really loud. Trust me, almost like you're yelling. We want to hear you speak. Step two, stand up. Posture is power, and standing up will help you come off as more authoritative, giving you the confidence you need to say what you want to say. And step three, talk with your hands. It makes you seem more energetic and more charismatic. Follow for more tips.
Oh, I love it. And I do talk with my hands. Let's bring her on, Melina. Hey.
Hello.
Thank you so much for being here.
I'm so happy to be here. Thank you so much, Esther.
Oh, my pleasure. And you know, I did a little video before you came on, and I was trying to use all your techniques. I hope that you saw it. I hope I passed. I hope I did okay.
You did. Your hair, the makeup, the lipstick. I was like, yes.
Yes. I wore lipstick for you. And by the way, hair and makeup is by Gal on the Go. So I'm just going to plug her because she's amazing. Hey, thank you, Bobby. So let's just get right to it. Yes. You graduated in 2014 with a BA in journalism from Concordia. Mm-hmm. And right after that, you got your dream job. I think you worked for up until 2018. And then you just decided one morning that, no, I can't do this anymore. And you just left and decided to travel the world. So how did that happen and why?
Yeah, so I think I like to say that I just got everything too quickly. Which is weird because we work so hard, right? I served coffee to so many people for free for so long that I finally got my shot, right? I got the dream job working in television, doing TV, reporting, local news, sharing people's stories every single day. And, I woke up one day and I said, is that all? This is it? I got it? I did everything? No, I don't want it. No, I'm done. And so that's why I like to say, when I think back now, I mean, when I was 26, I was like, no, I'm going to quit. But when I think back, I question why I, dropped everything and I decided to travel, which is what everyone does. No, it's not what everyone does. But, we watch a lot of those movies, right? Eat, Pray, Love, and all these, traveling movies. And we're like, oh, I'm going to pick up my stuff and go. And that's kind of what I did. I picked up my stuff. And so why I can't say, but I really do think it's because I had everything. And then all I kept thinking about was, I have to wait a whole year for a 2-week vacation. That's not enough. That's not life. This can't be it. And so I just, I thanked my boss and I said, look, I just can't, I need a break. At 26, I needed a break. And so I packed up my stuff and went traveling with a 46-liter backpack, traveled the world for a year, have
Wow.
pictures on my walls to prove it.
Yes,
And
I could see some of them.
exactly. And came home. And then really, everyone was just asking me, well, what's next? What are you going to do? And I said,
Right.
I don't know. Right. And that's why my handle is Where to Next Melina, because I had no idea what the future would hold for me. And yeah, that's basically what happened. And, I think for a lot of people, it's hard to come out and come forward and say things like, I'm just not happy. I'm just not happy with the job I have. It's everything I thought I wanted, but not anymore, right? It's changed for me, and that's okay. It's okay. And it's a reminder to any woman, to any man out there, that you can be 26, 46, 50, 60, right? We're seeing it with COVID. It's okay that you are no longer happy with your current situation. And so that was my little rude awakening. I mean, was it easy for my parents to see their daughter quit her dream job and go travel? No. But I grew, I learned, I did some TV again, came home, settled down, now bought a place, and, now started this coaching thing that I was like, I didn't even, it just fell into my lap because I saw that, people needed help, and then started the podcast, the lipstick. I'll explain that in a sec. But really and truly, I felt like this couldn't be it for me. I felt like I can't work here for 45 years. This cannot be, because I followed society's rules, which were go to school, get a good job, get married. Well, I didn't get married, but, get the boyfriend, get married, have kids, live a happy life. And I decided that it wasn't going to happen that way. And it's fine.
So you started this blog, Where to Next Melina, I guess because everybody was asking you, like, where to next, Melina? So tell us about the blog.
So the blog really, it stemmed from, I came home and I was like, okay, I'm going to teach people how to travel, which was really what I thought I was going to do. Because when I came home, the first questions I got were, how much did it cost you? What did you do? How did you save up all this money to go travel for a year? And, all these type of questions. The truth is, you don't need a lot of money to travel, especially the way I did it. I mean, I don't know if it most probably will change now with COVID, but
of course.
I worked on farms. I never thought I would, but I worked on farms to make some money. I worked in hotels, taught English in Thailand, like just some weird, odd jobs that, I was able to make a couple of extra dollars to continue traveling. And that's basically what I did. And I mean, the blog really stemmed from, okay, I'm home. I have nothing to do. I'm going to write. So I did. I started with tips on how to travel. And I really thought I would become like this travel blogger. Again, it was like, well, what are you going to do now? What are your plans? And all these types of questions. And it quickly turned into other things.
Yeah. So you also started this podcast, the name which I adore. And so where did that stem from? Like what initiated the desire to start a podcast?
So I did television, I did some radio, and I knew that, the media industry, it is what it is. We are, we're sort of given our stories for the day. And I have other interests, everyone has other interests, right? So I love breaking news stories, but I had other passions. And one of them, which, really resonates for me, is like empowering women, right? Like literally allowing women to feel like they can say what they want to say or feel what they want to feel. And it's okay, right? The message of it's okay, right? It's okay that you hate your job at 24. It's okay that you don't want kids by 30. All of this is okay, right? And so I started my podcast basically complaining about older generations. I was like that girl that's like, I'm going to help millennials live their life and live it on their own terms. And don't forget, your lipstick really stemmed from, I originally had an old blog, I used to have a podcast with some girlfriends and we called it Don't Forget Your Lipstick. But I came up with the name simply because I worked in television for so long. And the last thing you want to do before you go on air is not look like you're on camera, right? You needed lipstick. You always need lipstick, right? Esther, I mean, you're acting, we need a bit of makeup. Unfortunately, with the bright lights, we make. And so lipstick for me was just it's kind of like a play on words. So yes, I needed lipstick. I love lipstick, but also it was that daily reminder of like, don't forget who you are. Don't forget where you've come, you know, how far you've come. Don't forget where you know, where you're from. And lipstick for me is that daily reminder of, you know, look at, like, I like to say, you know, you can have a horrible day. I'll put on, you know, some lipstick and I'll just feel much better about myself. And it has nothing to do with, you know, we have to wear makeup to look pretty. It has everything to do with as to how we feel. And for me, that's lipstick. You know, I put on lipstick. I feel like, okay, I can go out and I can conquer the world. I've been joking and teasing about it right now because I feel like I should change the podcast name to Don't Forget Your Mask, because everyone, you know, everyone is writing to me like, well, Melina, we're not wearing our lipstick right now. And I said, well, just wear it at home. Wear it while you're cleaning.
Right. Don't forget the eyeshadow. We'll have to just adjust the name. I know. Like, hopefully, let's give it a year or so. Maybe it won't be as necessary. You know. And yes, go on.
No, I was going to say, so that's how the names. That's how the name of the podcast began, and so it kind of became like, don't forget your lipstick. Don't forget who you are. And then I started talking about love, relationships, like, you know, like my past relationships, and then new ones, and then I had guests on, and now it's a lot more centered to your confidence, because it, you know, it takes a long time, you know, as much as I was like, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Thank you so much, Bobby.
Yeah, she does. I agree.
You know, for any business or anyone who has an idea, even your podcast, Esther, like, this could change, right? You're starting it this way, but maybe in 6 months from now, you're going to want to do something different. And that's what happened with me, which is I started with, you know, lipstick and millennials and bashing on older generations. And then it just
oh, great.
Transitioned. Exactly. It transitioned into confidence. But, you know, in a weird way, Don't Forget Your Lipstick was always about confidence, but it never, you know, it never clicked that, okay, I can become this person that can uplift women and help them with their confidence, and now video, obviously. But yeah, that's in essence, that's what it means.
And I believe that expression originates from perhaps the 30s or 40s, where they used to say, just don't forget your lipstick, darling, you know, and they would just like put it on. I know my mother was all about the lips. I don't think she wore a stitch of makeup, but the lips, they were red and they were amazing. So that's something that goes way back from another generation.
I love it.
Yeah, me too. And I love that you are a confidence video coach. Like, that's amazing. I'm a huge believer. Tell us what that means.
Yes. So I kind of invented it. I feel like I'm going to become the pioneer of this, because there's not a lot of people doing this. So what it is really is, like, again, stemming from confidence. But, you know, I realize for a lot of businesses or young entrepreneurs, or, you know, anyone who has a product that they want to sell, or someone who has a Facebook or has a podcast, or whatever you're doing online right now, or you're a VP and you have to attend Zoom meetings, or you have to make your meetings more interesting to your employees, right? You don't want everyone to be off the screen and, oh, not another Zoom meeting. You need to show up, right? You need to get online, you need to show your face, you need to be comfortable doing video. And for a lot of people, there's a lot of underlying issues, right? And I like to say it takes guts, it takes confidence to get online and start showing up and showing your face. And so, because I come from this video background and I've been doing television for 10 years, I realized that for a lot of people, especially throughout this pandemic, right? We're a year and more in this pandemic. We've noticed a shift online. I mean, I don't know if anyone's been living under a rock right now, but you go on Facebook, you go on Instagram, you go on LinkedIn, you get on TikTok, it's all video. Everyone is doing videos. But then how do you need confidence to just want to go out there and do video. So this is where I step in, right? I'm a confidence video coach. And really and truly, the confidence part is because I realized, and for a lot of my clients, it starts with your confidence, right? It's not because you don't have a good product. It's not because you don't know what you're going to say. It's because you're scared of what people will say when they see you. That's confidence. That's where, we have to, I'm not a psychologist, But we need to get rid of those, I call them limiting beliefs, because it's all up in here, right? And I'm not here saying I never got negative comments. I'm not here saying, Esther, I'm sure you've received a couple, and it's fine. We will get them, right? It's like, it's amazing that social media allows us to speak to the entire world, right? We're not restrained, right? We can talk to so many people, but then that also in turn allows so many people to come in and to write things, right? And so it's inevitable. You're going to get some people that will love you, and then you're going to get people that will not like you. But it's how do you manage internally inside all of this, right?
Yeah.
And
So it more and more people are putting their businesses online, or putting themselves out there, or on Facebook or on Instagram, not realizing that, the competition is fierce, and that if they did talk about themselves, did show the behind the scenes, how people could relate to them so much more. And I know I experienced that personally, that the minute I started putting myself out there, everything changed. And I highly recommend it. If it's not because, Jill's cookies are better than Mary's cookies, it's because Jill is showing you the behind the scenes, how she makes it, how her kitchen's a mess, how her kids are driving her crazy, and people relate. So I think it's wonderful.
Exactly. I'm going to get to Bobby's question, and I'll come back to the cookies because I love talking about those cookies.
Yeah,
Melina,
okay,
do you think that television and film industries are threatened with the explosion of the internet? I think threatened, perhaps. I think they just need to shift. Just like everyone's been pivoting, they need to find a way to get people to either, I think subscriptions are the hottest thing right now, and it's the only thing that we can rely on, because okay, how many people are willing, but it's very hard. And those type of industries really rely on ads. So I don't know where the ad industry will go with everything being online, but they rely on ads. So it depends what the ad industry, if that will change, because ads on television are expensive. They're much more expensive than what we see online. So I don't know. It's a tough call. It's tough. It's tough to answer that, because we're all sort of on life support, right? Like with COVID, we just don't know. Esther, I want to open maybe my living room light. I feel like I'm so dark.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, just give me 1 sec. I just feel like I'm super dark.
That's okay. Yeah, it's really fascinating, because I've always been a believer of going online and advocating whatever at the time was my accessory business, and now everything else that I do. It's just important to put yourself out there and not be afraid. So, and even if you are afraid, do it afraid. So
Exactly.
Melina and I talked about that at one point earlier, that how I do things afraid, and that's okay.
Yeah, you say do it afraid. I say start messy, right? Because I say start messy, right? Such a millennial. I realize how young I am. I'm like, start messy. And she's like, do it afraid. I say start messy because a lot of people feel like they need, this perfect plan. And when I have this amount or this amount of followers, or then I can, and that's tricky, because if we're going to play a waiting game, if there's something COVID has taught me, is that we can no longer afford to wait, because waiting, that you're waiting a week, or that you're starting, you're going to grow within that week that you've started than just waiting around.
Yeah.
Hi, Teresa.
Yeah.
She's an actress as well, right?
Yes.
Teresa's
yes.
an actress.
So filmmaker. Yeah.
So
She's
Esther, I want to go. I want to get back to those cookies, because
of course, cookies. I love talking about cookies.
We saw it in the intro as well, because that's one of my podcast episodes,
right,
where I talk about. I'm sure a lot of people will relate. I have seen so many people turn into master chefs and master bakers online, right? Everyone's selling cookies, muffins, candles. Everyone's selling a product right now, right? And if it's not a product, it's a service. So if we talk about trainers, right? Gym trainers we're all stuck at home. Gyms are closed in Montreal. Well, Some want to start offering their services online. So how do you do that? And how do you differentiate yourself from other people, right? Like you said, right? Everyone's baking, everyone's cooking. And what I like to say is, if you're selling cookies, change the game. Stop showing us pictures of your cookies, because those perfect pictures of cookies are no longer interesting to the person who's scrolling on social media. It's like, oh, well, just another cookie picture, right? But if you start going online, doing a video, even by starting with just explaining why you started your business, I can guarantee you more people will, like, you'll get more eyeballs on your page, just because people will be like, wait a second, what? It's not about the cookies right now. She's talking to me about this, that, and other things. Oh, but I can buy her cookie. And then it makes it interesting, right? And again, the importance of video, because right now, people online are buying from people they can relate to. So I don't know if you've realized, Esther, we're no longer seeing these influencers go online and being like, these are the best pair of headphones, and here's my promo code to get, you know, right? I saw like a massive decline of all that online. I don't know if it's because I stopped following them, but
no, there is a decline. Absolutely.
Because we've caught on. We know that you don't know about these. You just got these in the mail and you just want to make, or I don't even know what they're given. So no one's buying these headphones, right? Because we no longer relate. But if you're making cookies in the kitchen, right? And you're making them and you have a story to share about these cookies and they're gluten-free, and guess what? They're made in Montreal, and you're using all the keywords, right? Well, then I'm intrigued. Then I'm like, why is this woman making cookies? And then you're intrigued. And then, you know, I'm telling you, more people will start checking out your page and buying your cookies, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a believer, you know, and there's so many different outlets. There's Facebook, there's Facebook Live. There is on Instagram, there's not only the stories, there's the reels, there's IGTV. So how do we navigate around that? How do we know which one to rely on? It is a little overwhelming, especially when you're starting out. Like, what would you suggest? How to start?
Yeah, I think it depends the business, and I think it depends what you already have in place. So I've never tell someone, well, now you have to have a TikTok account. I mean, if you have Facebook and Instagram, I think it's a safe bet. If you're on LinkedIn, that's great too. LinkedIn has made a massive comeback. Really. I mean, I was about to delete LinkedIn and now I'm on LinkedIn. So like, it just depends. But no matter what, all of these platforms are offering video. So no matter where you are, you can do video. Now, the issue at hand, again, is that people are so terrified because they're so scared to even start it that they're just not doing it. And so by not doing it, what I try to explain to people is that you're losing opportunity. You are wasting time, right? Why are we waiting this game? Let's start. And like, you know, I said this, I think last week in my podcast episode, listen, if I put out a podcast episode and it flopped, that's okay. I didn't die, right? I can delete it. I can keep it up there and try again. But I will die of regret if I don't start, the podcast, if I don't do it, right? So like I tell people all the time, you won't die if someone writes a mean comment to you. I mean, it'll be sad. We can call each other and we can cuddle, or, you know, we can figure it out. We can drink a glass of wine. Like, it's fine. Yeah. You won't die, but you will. I promise you will die of regret, because you'll, like I tell people, what's the difference between today and next week? What will actually change is that you've started. Like that. Stop waiting and let's start. And start by, you know, I think a lot of the times too, Esther, because I've been in this industry for so long, I'm so used to sharing people's stories. And people's stories are the most valuable. It's how we connect, right? It's how we gain. It's how we feel like, oh my God, I get her. I connect with her. I sympathize with her, right? All these stories on COVID, on the news. It's like we sympathize with people, right? Those in the hospital, those dying, those suffering, right? We sympathize because we can relate to them. And I realize for a lot of people, even as business owners, that they've been in the business, they have their business for over 50 years. the hardest question for them to answer is, why did you start this business? What's the story behind your business? And a lot of the times people forget that their story is the most important part of this puzzle, right? It's not the fact that you've been, selling furniture for 50 years. It's the story behind the first day that you started selling furniture, right? That's what we want to connect with. We're not going to connect with 50 years that you've been in the furniture industry, but we're going to connect with, I started this business with my father. I was 10 years old. That's what we want to see. And so when I come in and I start with my clients, we rework their messaging, because their messaging is sometimes not clear and it's not conveying the true meaning of their business, and it's not connecting, because we want to connect with our audience, right? So the messaging is the most important part. So a lot of people, they get their business, they start Instagram, they start Facebook, they hire a social media manager. That doesn't work, because you didn't start the foundation, right? We can get someone to do your hashtags. We can get someone to do all of that. But if your core elements, and, Esther, I'll tell you one of the other things, I ask businesses, why are you on Facebook? Oh, because I have to be. That's the wrong answer, right? You don't have to be on Facebook. That's a good point. It's good to start something new. For example, I started my own show. Congrats, Michael.
Yeah, he's actually from the UK, so he's up late.
Congrats, Michael. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, he's great.
But it's true. You have to start something new. And if that's, like I like to say, if this pandemic has not taught you that life, like everything is so brittle and we could lose stuff, from one day to the next. I mean, start now, because we don't even know what will happen tomorrow, really and truly.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And so your interest in journalism and broadcasting, where did that stem from? How did you get into it? Like, we're all curious. And of course, all that experience and knowledge has helped you become who you are today. So it's part of your evolution. So tell us about that.
So I believe it stems from my first travel experiences with my family. When we used to travel as a family, we'd go to Mexico and whatnot. And I would always, I remember as a kid, I'd be like, Mom, why do these people speak a different language? Why? I thought that Montreal was such a big place, right? I'm 4 years old. I get off a plane and people speak Spanish. What's Spanish, right?
Right.
And so I was very curious as a kid, and I loved people. I was attracted to people. And I think that's probably what intrigued me about journalism the most. But I did want to become a translator. So I actually studied 4 languages. So I speak English, French, Italian, and Spanish. And then did 1 year of Mandarin. And then that flopped, because I was just like, I don't think I could continue. But I did 1 year of Mandarin. But I think the reason why I studied languages was because in the back of my mind, I just wanted to travel and to learn about what people were dealing with, right? What are their issues? I wanted to be an international reporter. That was really my dream. But it didn't happen for me, but it allowed me to, even when I traveled in 2018 to 2019, then COVID hit, right? In 2020, I'm trying
2020,
to think. Yeah. So I just was always intrigued by cultures, but I always wanted to make sure that I understood what they were telling me. It was almost like, I need to learn this language because I want to be able to communicate with them. So that I think that is what allowed me to get into journalism, because I was just intrigued by different communities and learning about people and really try to understand and bring awareness, right? That's the whole point of journalism, right? We're there to speak your truth. We're there to share that to everyone. And that's just how it happened. But I think it's a passion, right? I think if I ever do leave the industry 100%, I don't think the journalist part of me will leave, right? I can lose the title. I can not be a reporter. But I think a journalist, it's a passion, right? It's in us. You have to really love it. You have to want to go out and chase people and chase stories and study it and, talk about it and not be afraid. But I think I was maybe I was just born for it. I don't know. I mean, I like I said, I got really lucky because I knew early on. I was in college and I knew this is what I wanted to do, right? Whereas a lot of people, they only figure it out after university.
Yeah.
But I knew right away. So like I was just in it constantly for so long.
Yeah, and you started actually interning at 18 at CJAD, correct? Yeah,
Yeah.
that's amazing.
I was giving out coffee. I mean, we couldn't go on radio, but I was giving out coffee, giving out my ideas, you know. I remember like Twitter had just come out and like the media industry, you know, talking about the media industry, we had a question before,
Right.
but they were like, Twitter's coming. We don't know what to do. You know, like everyone was like freaking out about Twitter. Can you imagine all the other?
Yeah,
which
sorry, I have
content
another
you suggest?
question.
Yeah.
Really,
For starting a new podcast, a travel show, an eating show. Honestly, it's got to be something that you can talk about for 30 minutes, at least 30 minutes where you are comfortable. And don't forget, if you're doing a weekly or bi-weekly, you need to make sure you have enough content. So I'm not going to come out here and you should do a travel show if you're not traveling, if you're not interested. An eating show, that's up to you. You have to figure out what you're good at, what you can talk about, the experiences that you have. So many things you have to question yourself, Bobby. But I want to know why Bobby short shorts. What's the short shorts about? Maybe you can talk about that.
He's actually another podcaster, so, and that's his YouTube channel. So I guess he's asking, maybe he's interested in, you know, branching out. You know, people are doing more than one podcast, depending on the subject. It's definitely exploded in the last year. 100%.
Yeah.
And I wonder how that has affected the landscape of broadcasting. How has all these podcasts and all these social media platforms, how has it changed broadcasting rather? How has your opinion?
I mean, I think broadcasting will still hold that like authoritative, you know, we're fact checking everything. Whereas like we can't really know. In a podcast, you know, we can't forget it's my opinion. It's not everyone's opinion. It's not, you know, so we can't take it for cash, right? I wouldn't want to listen to a podcast and it's a doctor telling me I should, you know, go buy toilet paper to save myself from corona, right? It's like we have to just, I think as citizens, we have to just be careful the type of information we're consuming. So, you know, when we look at broadcasting, you know, we follow certain guides and norms, whereas like all of these platforms are great. And I think what's great about them is that they're so diversified, right? It's like we could go look up a travel podcast, whereas like local news is news, right? You won't have a travel episode, right, about Portugal, but you know, you can go and search a blog, a podcast, YouTube about Portugal, no problem. So I think it's like a huge encyclopedia right now.
Yeah, you're right. You know, and I think about the confidence video coaching that you're doing. And now that we're all on Zoom and, you know, like CEOs have to now put their face out there on video. That's where public speaking has gone, obviously. So everybody is online. So that type of coaching is invaluable. And more people could use it, not just for social media, but just in their everyday career. So if somebody wanted to get in touch with you, how could they do it? And how does it work?
So what I do and what I normally offer, because I never want to work with someone where I know that we're probably not the right fit. So I offer a free 60-minute assessment with you. So the first call that we do together, I ask you a bunch of questions and it's free the first 60 minutes because I want to make sure that we're on the same page. Right? Because a lot of the times people will come to me like, I need help with hashtags. I'm not here to help you with hashtags. Okay. I'm not I know social media, but I'm not a social media manager. And what I focus on is video, is your content in the video, is your delivery, your appearance, your presence. And again, I like to say it's 100% personalized for you because I'm not going to tell you how to speak like me. It's got to come from you. You know, and that's where the confidence comes in as well. We got to figure out, you know, what are you comfortable with? What are you not comfortable with? And a lot of the times, Esther, the content is there. The block is the showing up. It's the why do I have to be the face of my business? Because that's what it is. That is the only way you can connect with your audience today. Again, if we go back to cookies, if we see a mom in her kitchen, in a dirty kitchen, licking the cookie dough off the spatula, right? That is going to attract way more eyeballs than the static picture of those perfectly round cookies on the white, in the white kitchen. That's not dirty. That's not right. And like, I challenge people all the time, like, go live. Let's say we're back with the mother making cookies. Show people on your live, hey, I'm just popping in these cookies, and in 15 minutes they're going to be ready. I'm live right now. Let's do a Q&A. My coffee's in my hands. Let's do a Q&A while these cookies are being, baking. I'm going to answer your questions. You are going to get way more people eyeballing your page and feeling like, oh my God, I'm a part of her community, than just showing me pictures of cookies, right? Because then now you have Esther who commented, hey, Melina, why are your cookies gluten-free? And then, right, the mom will start explaining her story. And then Esther's there like, oh my God, she answered my question. Oh my God, I love her thing. She's going to go buy your cookies.
Yeah, and there's that connection because of the Q&A. There's definitely a connection there. So that helps immensely.
Not only is she going to buy your cookies, she's going to tell her friends that she bought your cookies. And then if she likes your cookies, she's going to share, she's going to like, she's going to recommend. That is free advertising, right? When we talk about advertising and people are all about their hashtags, and that's something else I want to say. You do not need 10,000 followers. You do not need to have 50,000 views. You need to have a strong community that is there for you week after week, backing you up, giving you free ads because they love your product.
Yeah, I agree 1,000%. 100%.
That's it. So anyways, that's what I want to say. That Q&A turns into like a massive business.
I think that's amazing. And I don't think people realize the value of all that. And it's so important for them to know that how, to putting yourself out there. It's all like having your little mini reality show. And we're all a little afraid, but that's okay. And being messy, but you're here to guide us. And I think it's incredible. And just that little bit from that clip that you said, I used it tonight, and I made sure my voice was stronger, and I used my hands, and and it felt more effective. So there's a lot, we think we can do it, and we should, but if we can get a little help from you, I think it's amazing. And talk about, being live and being online, and stories on Instagram. What do you think from the news area? Like, I noticed some news outlets are starting to use stories, some aren't. What do you think about that? You think more news outlets should take advantage of stories and IGTV, and are they doing enough of it? What's your opinion?
I think everyone should take advantage with everything. I think these are free apps, right? This is all free. I think if you're not there, you're losing opportunity, right? It's like Clubhouse just came out, and it's like, it's been booming for so many businesses. People are all on Clubhouse now. It's just, I say, why not use the tools that we have now? I mean, look, I go back 10 years. I was in a radio room that was freaking out about Twitter, right? It's like, look at the world today. We're not only on Twitter anymore. We're on Facebook, we're on Messenger, we're on TikTok, Snapchat, YouTube, Instagram. We're live tonight. It's like, it's drastically changed. I think the fact that people work from home, the fact that we're in our homes, this is why I tell a lot of my clients, it is your chance right now to feel your most comfortable self, right? I'm in my living room. I'm on my sofa. I can do a video. I'm in my home. This is my space. And I know for a lot of people, they're scared to show their home, and that's okay. There's ways to, you don't have to always show your home. Yeah, exactly. You have a backdrop. There are ways to do it. I mean, either Esther, you are an amazing podcast. I'm enjoying the show. I'm so happy, Bobby. Yay! I'm so happy. Look, if I can, this is what I say every day. If I can inspire at least one person to get out there and to start doing it, then just do it. I mean, look, I'm here. Yes, I offer services, but I think at the end of the day, for a lot of these businesses, the reason why I started really was because I noticed the shift. I noticed that people were not online. I noticed that these bakers were just showing pictures of cookies. And I'm like, sweetie, you need to, it's not enough to just have the Facebook page. It's not enough to just have the Instagram page. It's not enough to just have the perfect logo. Now you need to go out there and start talking about why you're doing what you're doing, right? Show me the cookies, do the thing, get online. I mean, and it sounds exhausting. I know it sounds exhausting. It will be exhausting at first. Again, I'm not saying every day. I'm just saying start, show up. It takes guts. It takes courage. And what I like to say, this is my favorite line, stop comparing your day 1 to someone's day 100. I invite everyone tonight, any podcaster, any YouTuber you listen to that you're like, I wish I can be like this person, scroll down, go back and check their first videos.
Yes.
Go back and check their day 1.
Absolutely. I agree 100%.
Right?
I myself experienced that. I'm going, like, this is my 7th one. Oh my God, I should be X, Y, and Z. And then let me see what, Joe did. And what Joe didn't do any better than I did. So yes, absolutely. Yeah, that's so true. And you are also now affiliated with TEDx. Like, what's that all about?
I am. So they reached out to me because, again, right, I'm this video confidence coach. And so I'm working with the TEDx Water Street team in New York City. They are, I believe, presenting on May 6th. Wow, that's soon. That's very soon.
Yeah,
that is like very, very soon. I'm like shocked. And so what I'm, again, because even our fellow TEDx members, those who will get on that stage in New York City, have their own fears, right? They don't, they have a great talk. It's all written down, but now how do you deliver it? What do you do with your hands? What do you do with the prompter? Like, how do we make it engaging? All these things. It doesn't have to come naturally. You just need to know those few steps, right? You just need to know those keys. So I'm helping some of the presenters out with their presentation, with how they want to present it. And so it's super cool. It's super, super exciting. I don't know if I can get there because of this whole COVID thing, but I'm excited. I'm excited to see them get on the stage.
Yeah, you're in at the right time because, again, like the landscape of so many industries have changed because of the pandemic. We are all online. We are using video. You are a video confidence coach. You're here at the right time, and I am sure you're going to explode. And
thank you so much.
Happy for you. I know that people can contact you on your blog. Where to next, Melina? I know you also have a section there for coaching. They could fill out. You give that free consultation, which is amazing. I may use it. I think
I offer free consultation, and then we decide how we want to work. But again, everything is always 100% personalized because again, you may have something or you may not have a product. I'll give you an example of one of my clients this week. She literally had a breakthrough. So she had lost her job, right? COVID. She was in the retail fashion industry, lost her job, lacked confidence, had her own personal social pages. But she felt like, I want to talk about this, I want to do this, but I won't be good enough, right? And so it takes time, but we took some time to really get rid of those negative beliefs. Yeah. And within that time, she, and for her, I'll just share her story a little. For her, she was defined, and I'm sure, Esther, a lot of your audience can relate to this, and she's 31 years old. She felt like her job defined her. For her, losing her job was so heartbreaking. She felt like, she told me, she goes, Melina, even when I meet a guy, I talk about my work. I talk about, this is what I do. So who am I, right? It was almost like self-discovery. Like, what else can I offer? And I'll tell you a simple trick we did together, which was, you're going to take out your CV, and I want to see it. And each line or each job that you've done, I want you to explain to me exactly what you learned. So don't tell me what you do. Tell me what you learned, right? That's experience. That's something no one has learned. So she was a foot buyer. Okay. She's going to laugh if she watches this. She knows what it takes to make the perfect heel, a shoe for a woman.
Right.
The buckle, because she would help these companies create the shoe. The leather, the heel, the thickness, the buckle, everything.
It's a lot of knowledge right there.
But this is what you need to sell. So don't just say you're a foot buyer. That's boring. Right? It's like, and so now, well, I'm happy to say she now got a job, but it took those weeks to really tap into why does she only think that this is who she is, right? And now she started a podcast. It has nothing to do with foot or fashion, but everything else that she loved doing on the side. But she never thought, well, why would people follow me? And I said, because it's you. It's not because, right? And so again, it's interesting because I say I'm a video confidence coach. I'm not a psychologist, but we need to take that time because for a lot of people, even though you don't have a product yet, I guarantee you will figure something out. You will find a niche. You will find something that you're able to talk to on a podcast for 30 minutes. You'll figure it out. But we have to get there, but you'll figure it out.
Yeah. And it's not just for, millennials or Generation X, like even baby boomers. Like I was telling you the other day, it's like I'm living my fourth life now. So, and yes, it's all that experience from before. And I don't think I could have done what I'm doing now had I not had that experience. So maybe this was my time and maybe this is your client's time at 31. It's different for everyone. And everything we've done in life is an experience and helps us to the next level. So yeah,
we take it for granted. Look, I'll tell you, I have a nurse. She reached out to me and she was like, well, what I'm doing is I'm helping nurses who are getting into the academy. I'm guaranteeing them a spot. So she has now, she's a nurse in the ICU right now, COVID, she's super busy, but she is helping nurses who are trying to get in. But what I'm trying to say is you don't need to have a business. You don't even need to have cookies. You don't need to have a product, but you have something that people need help with, right? It's like, it's a service. And so now she's creating videos, right? And it's these little things. Like I've told her, go into the ward, film yourself putting on your COVID gear. That's a reel. That's 15 seconds. Show us what it's like, right? How much, that's way more intriguing, right? That is way more than your typical nurse who's taking pictures with her kids on Instagram. No one cares.
Wow, the power of video, the power of the visuals. It is mind-boggling. I love it. That's amazing. Thank you so much for all this information.
These are two clients. These are two clients that don't have products. They don't have a tangible. This is not buy this product. You absolutely need it. It's service. It's, hi, I am back. Hi, Michael.
He must have been gone for a short time and now he's back. That's so wonderful. I love everything that you spoke about today. It really opened up a lot of interesting ideas and for people watching as well that they hadn't realized or taken for granted. So yeah, visuals are important. Having the confidence to be online and talk about yourself or talk about your product or just talk, and we need that connection more and more. Going live, for instance, that Q&A, that, it's so important. And I think that will not go away, regardless of what we're going through now. That will not go away. I think people have come to appreciate and accept that there's a lot of online learning, there's a lot of online business, and we just, let's make the best of it and learn to use it properly.
And what really, really will not go away, especially now with the pandemic, is that sense of community. We've been forced to be home. We've been forced to be secluded from our loved ones. So that sense of community, that sense, oh my God, I get this girl. Oh my God, I get this guy. Oh my God. We are dreaming about that. So take advantage right now, and not advantage. Like, I don't believe any one of my clients, my eyes are open now. Thanks so much, Melina. Thank you, Bobby.
You have a convert. Yeah.
I mean, look, I'm not here saying you can sell BS to someone. I really believe that you have a product that works. The only way that you can get more people excited about it is that sense of community, that sense of, oh my God, I get her. I mean, if your product is a flop, they'll buy it, they'll connect with you, but then they won't come back. I mean, we're talking about products that work, right? Products that people want, that they'll keep coming back for, right? The candles, like those cookies, right? But that sense of community, that will not go away. It cannot go away, because now that's what we're holding on to. That's exactly what we're holding on to.
Yeah, 100%. So I have one more question before we go, and this has been amazing. So where to next, Melina?
I
know. I bet you knew that was coming.
No, but you know what? It's like, I can't even change the handle anymore, because it's, I feel like, and I've talked about this a bit at one point with a friend. I said, I don't want to change my handle. I want to continue writing about that. I don't know where I'm going, but you know what? It takes confidence to say out loud that I don't know what's coming, but I'm allowing myself to just get excited and be surprised.
That's exactly how it should be. Thank you so much for being here. Yeah, I think we're going to have you back. We have so much more to talk about.
I know. Yay. I'm excited. I'll come back anytime.
Oh, I would love it. I would love it. We will be back on May 6th. So we're taking next week off, and we'll be back on the 6th. And starting in May, we're going to be on Thursdays. So that'll be interesting. Yeah, it is. It is. So
it's okay. You spice it up. You need it.
Yeah, of course. Absolutely. So you'll stay for the after party, and we're going to say good night. And thank you for joining us this evening.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.